Our journey with Jesus through Holy Week brings us here, to Good Friday. We often wish we could skip Good Friday and go straight to the resurrection, but we can't. We must walk through the horribleness of Jesus' betrayal, arrest, and crucifixion. We must experience the worst that humanity can throw at God in order to comprehend the power of Easter. So here is the story of Good Friday, told so beautifully and powerfully through text and images, as put together by Vanderbilt Divinity School. We invite you to go through this presentation all at once. Then go back and find the images that speak to you. Pause the presentation and ponder those images. Out of his anguish he shall see light. Isaiah 53:11. My God, why have you forsaken me? Psalm 22:1. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who in every respect has been tested as we are. Hebrews 4:15a. After Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples to a place where there was a garden. John 18:1ab. Judas brought a detachment of soldiers together with police from the chief priests and the Pharisees, and they came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. John 18:3. Then Jesus, knowing all that was to happen to him, came forward and asked them, "Whom are you looking for?" And they answered, "Jesus of Nazareth." John 18:4-5a. Jesus replied, "I am he. So if you are looking for me, let these men go." The soldiers arrested Jesus and bound him. John 18:5b, 8b, 12a, and c. Simon Peter and another disciple followed Jesus. The woman said to Peter, "You are not also one of this man's disciples, are you?" He said, "I am not." John 18:15a and 17. Now Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. They asked him, "You are not also one of his disciples, are you?" He denied it and said, "I am not." John 18:25. Again, Peter denied it, and at that moment the cock crowed. John 18:27. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged. The soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they dressed him in a purple robe, coming up to him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" John 19:1a, 2, and 3b. Pilate therefore said to him, "Do you refuse to speak to me? Do you not know that I have power to release you and power to crucify you?" John 19:10. He said, "Here is your king." They cried out, "Crucify him." Then he handed him over to them to be crucified. John 19:14b, 15b, and 16a. So they took Jesus, and carrying the cross by himself, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. John 19:16c, 17. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on either side, with Jesus between them. John 19:18. They divided my clothes among themselves, and for my clothing they cast lots. John 19:24b. he said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Here is your mother." And from that hour the disciple took her into his own home. John 19:26b and 27. He said, "I am thirsty." They put a sponge full of the wine on a branch of hyssop and held it up to his mouth. John 19:28b and 29b. When Jesus had received the wine, he said, "It is finished." Then he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. John 19:30. Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus, came and removed his body. Nicodemus also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes. John 19:38 AC, 39a. And so, because it was the Jewish day of preparation, and the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there. John 19:42. Because the tomb was nearby, they laid his body there. So begins the last part of this Holy Week journey. Amen.
Were you there when they pierced him in the side?